Hello everybody, it's Mr. Van Zora, and today we're going to review notes and rhythms before we do some work with time signature. So just as a very quick review, going over our values. When we have a whole note or rest, that's going to equal 4 beats. When we have a half note or half rest, that's going to equal 2 beats. When we have a quarter note or a quarter rest, that'll equal 1 beat. And then an eighth note by itself or an eighth rest will equal 1/2 of a beat. So again, the whole note looks like what you have on the left here, and the whole rest looks like what you have on the right here. A whole note just looks like a circle, whereas the whole rest is going to be holding on to the line. So it's in the bottom of the line. It looks like an upside down hat, or it looks like you've got a road and it's a hole in the road. That's an easy way to remember the whole rest. Your half notes are going to equal 2 beats, same as your half rests. A half note looks like an open circle with a line, and the half rest looks like a hat. You can think half and hat. That's how you can remember that one. Your quarter note is the same thing as a half note, except it's going to be colored in, so it's a shaded in circle with a line. And then the quarter rest looks kind of like a Z or a zigzag, and both of these equal 1 beat. Next we have our eighth note. An eighth note, when it's by itself, looks like a quarter note with a flag on the side. We call this part here the flag. And then the eighth rest kind of looks like the number 7 with a big blob on the top. And both of these are going to be equal to half of a beat. We can also have beamed eighth notes. So if we put 2 eighth notes together, it'll look like this. And because each one of these eighth notes is equal to half a beat, we have a half plus a half that's going to equal 1. So we have beamed eighth notes like this, they equal 1 beat. If I put 2 beamed eighth notes together and looks like this, that's just half plus half plus half plus half, or 1 plus 1, which means that this is 2 beats. Now remember, this has only 1 bar at the top. That's how we know it's an eighth note. If we add a second bar here, that would make it a 16th note. But because it just has 1, these are going to stay beamed eighth notes. They're not 16ths yet. Lastly, we have our dotted notes. The rule for dotted notes is when you add a dot to a note, it adds half of the note's original value. So here I have a quarter note and a half note, both of them are dotted. So I have a dotted quarter note and a dotted half note. For now, let's ignore the dot. If I have a quarter note, that equals 1 beat. If I have a half note, that equals 2 beats. Now to figure out how many beats it gets when you add the dot, all we need to do is add half of the original value. So my original value of my quarter note is 1. Half of 1 is 1/2, so I add 1 plus a half, and I get 1.5 beats. So my dotted quarter note equals 1.5 beats. With my half note and my dotted half note, a half note by itself equals 2 beats. Half of 2 is 1, so I have to add the 2 together. So I get 2 plus 1, and that equals 3 beats. These are the only dotted notes you'll see today. So just remember that a dotted quarter note equals 1.5 beats, and a dotted half note equals 3 beats. That covers all of our notes and rhythms that you'll see in your worksheet today when you're working with time signatures. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me via email or in our Google chat if you're on the meeting. But other than that, you are free to get to work.